Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're going to have a story time about the time that I did 1300 milligrams of DXM and nearly met God. It's a banger of a story, so make sure to stick around until the end. But before the story does start, I do want to leave a little disclaimer to not try anything like that's been described in the story, and all actions are alleged. Please enjoy. So this story began in, I believe, sophomore year of high school, and at the time I was doing quite a bit of DXM. Not like a super large amount, but I was just getting into it and did quite a bit of it. This happened during a binge. I did like DXM for like 3-4 days straight, taking like a day break in between each dose. And yeah, I think that kind of fucked me up a little bit because, I don't know, my liver kind of hurt after that week. So don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. But this happened after that little binge, like a week later, and I decided to take like a super large dose. And at the time when I did DXM, I didn't really know how to find HBR because nowhere near me sold it for some reason, or it would all be gone. And I'm not taking fucking quercetin cough and cold because, you know, it has like other ingredients in it. And there's a one quercetin cough and cold that has only guaifenesin in it. And I thought about doing an extraction, but me and Josh never really got around to doing that. It was kind of fucking annoying, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. The reason why we didn't end up doing it is because I got caught and I had to go to rehab. So that's a whole different story. So on the fateful evening of this little story time, I decided to do 1300 milligrams. I had a couple extra bottles of Delsym and the generic Walgreens branded cough syrup. And I decided to consume 3 whole bottles of it. And yeah, I believe each bottle was like around 900 milligrams or somewhere around there. But I remember in total, or maybe 2.5 bottles, I'm not sure I remember correctly. But in the end, I managed to drink 1300 milligrams of DXM. This was the Polisterex version. It did say on the bottles that it's the equivalent of HBR. So like on the bottle, if you read in the back, it says 30 milligrams of Polisterex to the equivalent of, no, it says like 30, like I'm not really sure how to explain it, but basically it says like the amount inside of it is equal to 30 milligrams of HBR. So I had the Polisterex, I had the DXM, and for about an hour I didn't really feel anything, and then like I slowly began to feel it. Now DXM hits me in like waves. I'm pretty sure like each plat slowly like hits me one at a time. So first I began to feel like a little lightheaded because I started to feel like drunk and cross-faded almost, and then an hour later after that started, I started to feel like I was on Molly. I started to feel like this head rush, and I felt like this like serotonin feeling. I'm not really sure how to explain it. I just felt it. Like if you ever did DXM, I advise you not to, but if you've ever done it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I slowly started to dissociate, right? I started to go numb, and that's how I knew it was kicking in. So I laid on my floor. Now I don't know why I do this, but I like to lay on my floor while I'm on DXM. It's just kind of fun. I don't know. My bed becomes uncomfortable, but the floor is where it's at. The floor is really nice. So I lay on the floor. I laid on the floor with a pillow and my headphones on, listening to music. And like, this is where shit started to really pop off because I was laying down. And while laying down, I started to feel like my limbs beginning to stretch out. Like I was sitting there and I felt like my limbs becoming like longer, and like I began to like stretch. And you know, like in front of those like car dealerships, you have like those like noodle men that like flay around in the wind. I felt like one of those noodle men. I just kept like twisting and contorting in different ways, and I kind of felt like I was about to fall off the edge of the earth. Like I felt like I was slipping. And to be honest, it was really fucking fun. It sounds terrifying now that I think about it, but it was really fun at the time. I just loved like the out of body sort of stretchy, body contorted feeling. Not sure how to explain it, but hopefully that paints a picture. Now, the visuals. They were pretty nice. They were really fast moving, and it looked like purple balls of light. A lot of people say that they see this, but for me it was like purple balls of light with like green inside of it as well. And my DXM visuals have always been consistently the purple balls of light with green mixed inside of it. And they would it looked like fire almost, right? And it looked like purple fire with like green liquid around it. and it would just look like the two of them would like swirl together. I'll try to put up like a picture of it now, if I find something online. I laid there for a little bit, and every 5 or so minutes, like for every song, I would open my eyes and come back to the real world, and like it felt like an hour passed in between each song, but when I checked, each song was like 2 or 3 minutes. I was listening to some Juice WRLD because why not? So the next bits and pieces of it I don't really remember too well because I think I might have blacked out. Yeah, DXM really fucks with your memory, so I don't really remember much of it after that. I just remember floating in like this dream world, and it's like when you're on a large amount of dissociatives, I think this happens with ketamine too, your visuals turn from like the purple balls of light and flurries and like geometry into like an alternate pocket dimension. You feel like you've been transported to like almost this like other world that's only visible to you, and like I remember living out multiple different lifetimes in that one little trip. So yeah, I was like gone with a capital G during that entire experience. I felt like my body being like lifted and like literally moved to a different place, and about I say 3-4 minutes later, I opened my eyes again because the song finished and I wanted to change it to like a different playlist, and I would just repeat that process over and over again. And to be honest, it was really fun. Toward the end, I noticed I started to like itch really bad whenever I got up from like hyperspace. Like when I got back from fucking hyperspace, I started to itch really bad in between. So I wanted to like stay like passed out or like stay dissociated for longer, so I would just stop fucking itching. Eventually the itching passed as well. I noticed myself I started hallucinating less. I stopped like fucking going into hyperspace as often, and I started to just see the purple balls of light again, and that's how I knew I was coming down. And one thing I do when I'm on DXM is I bite my finger, and depending on like how much force it takes me to like feel it, it's like how fucked up I am. Like if I bite my finger really hard and I don't feel it, I know I'm like really fucked up and I should probably not do anything. But like if I bite my finger when I'm sober, I'll feel it like fully, and I'll know like I'm not on anything and I'm completely fine. So yeah, I bit my finger, and I was still pretty fucked up, but I did feel my finger, which is better from before, because the last time I bit my finger, I couldn't feel it at all. It kind of felt like my teeth just passed through my hand, honestly. I felt like a ghost almost, like everything just passed through me. I felt so fucking dissociated. Like I felt like I like sort of fell through my floor, or like if I like slammed my head into the wall. I didn't, but like if I did, I would like my head would just pass through the wall, it felt like. And eventually I started coming back down. I hopped online and I was playing Valorant with Josh, and like he mentioned that how fucked up I am, because like when you're playing games on DXM, you kind of forget that the other person can shoot back, or like you can get hurt in the game. So I would do like really reckless pushes in Valorant and somehow like get a headshot or two in before dissociating and completely forgetting that I was playing a game, and like Josh would have to snap me back into the game, and I just kept repeating that over and over again until eventually I came back down. So yeah, that was my little 1300 milligram DXM trip report, I guess, story time. Let me know if you guys want to hear anything else, and thank you for watching.